Welcome to Ladies in Law, where real-world advice meets professional wisdom and empowerment in realms of law and business. Your hosts, Lisa Goucher, Dawn Smith, and Kellye Raymond, bring you innovative strategies, practical guidance, and inspirational stories. Join us as we inspire and support women to thrive in traditionally male-dominated fields. We're here to promote inclusivity and provide practical advice for success. Hi, Lisa here today with Dawn. We are missing Kellye. She's in a trial in Miami. We will have her back soon, and I'm certain she's going to have a lot to tell us. Today, we are talking about one of my very favorite topics. It's about individual branding. I think it's imperative that everyone find a way to brand themselves, and this includes everybody who works at a firm. Keep in mind, the law firm has already branded itself. You have to identify how you want to be seen and heard, because that allows footsteps in growing your own personal brand, your business, whatever you're looking at.
So important.
And so number one is your target audience. So Dawn, speak to identifying your target audience.
Well, before we get there, we'll just back up a minute. Individual branding. I mean, I feel like this is so underrated. So if you work for a firm, like Lisa said, it is so important that you know that you can, by just putting yourself out there, you are really creating additional revenue for yourself, especially if you work for a defense firm, if you work for a plaintiff's firm. If somebody is seeing you on a regular basis and they like your brand, you're authentic, we're going to talk about the details associated with it, you're going to increase your revenue. I don't even understand. Well, I will say I do understand it, because I was not a social media person at all for the longest time. I was just so worried about how I would be judged and what everybody would think about me. But I love what you said, Lisa. You're like, got to get over yourself.
It's important. Nobody cares that much.
Nobody cares that much. And the people that do care are going to follow you. And that's just going to really increase your value to the firm and really give you additional opportunities. So I just wanted to touch on that. What is individual branding and how you go about doing it, right?
Yeah, and you're right. I was jumping ahead too far, because there's so much value in individual branding, and you may not even see it at this point. Like if you're thinking, I am here doing what I like and I love to do, why do I need to have personal branding? Because we always need to be in a growth mode. And in a growth mode in this society, it almost is like reinventing yourself on the regular. So keeping your branding, knowing what your branding is and figuring that out. So for instance, I'm a wife, a mother, a grandmother, which I am so excited about my grandbaby who's about to turn a year.
Go Gigi.
Yes. Just totally renewed life having that grandbaby. I'm also in direct sales. I sell shampoo, and I'm also in court reporting. So obviously the branding that I do for court reporting versus the shampoo are two very different things. Now, I'm not saying that there's not some crossover here and there, but how I put out my content related to shampoo versus how I put out my content related to court reporting and the legal industry, they're very different. So you identify your path. What do you want to identify yourself as? And it could be more than one path. Write those down and then find two to five things underneath each path that you resonate with. Like in my shampoo business, I've got my 5 things written down. Those are the components that I share. It helps me create content. In the court reporting business, I have my 5 things written down, and I just create content based upon those 5 things.
Can we talk about that a little bit?
Sure.
So give us an example, because I think a lot of people think of it as, knowing your core values, right? What is important to you? What are you trying to accomplish? So can you give us an example of those 2 paths and those 5 things so people can really understand?
Yeah, most definitely. So in the shampoo business, I am over 50, fit and fab hair, family, and faith. Those are my 5 things in the shampoo business. In the court reporting business, it's relationships, it's legal just whatever is coming up in the legal news that affects my specific industry, asbestos and talc litigation. And it's also education in the court reporting world and building resources. So everything that I'm doing is about in the court reporting field is building those relationships, staying educated, and that's what I want to share as it relates. Just like this podcast. Now, I'm not specifically talking about court reporting all the time, right? We are here talking about issues, inspiring, just whatever we feel needs to be shared in reference to supporting other women in the legal environment. So those are my pillars in court reporting, and those are my pillars in direct sales for shampoo.
And I think that's really one of the things that you have to spend the most time on. What are those pillars? What are you trying to accomplish? I mean, Lisa and Kellye and I spent a lot of time with our production team, shout out to the producers, about, what our branding needed to be for ladies-in-law. And we really felt like there was a niche, just this area that's really developing where I feel like there's so much growth opportunity for women in law and business. So we really sat down to figure out what our core values are, what we're trying to accomplish, and we talk about them as much as possible to make sure that our messaging is consistent. But, get those pillars down, write them out. Acronyms are great. I noticed Lisa's got all F's for her one path. So it makes it so much easier. I mean, our core values for our firm are facts, FACTS, and I'm a lawyer, so that kind of helps with, remembering things. So I think that once you sit down to really figure out who you are and what you think and what you believe, it's so important because one of the next things that you have to be is authentic. And you can't be authentic if you're trying to, well, I guess maybe some people can, maybe actors can, but if you're shoveling a bunch of stuff that you don't believe, that's just a waste of everybody's time, and then you're not going to get any type of traction that you want. So sitting down and making those pillars and then really, I guess, coming up with your target audience is the next step, right?
Yeah, most definitely. So you need to know, who are you talking to? Because if you are talking to everyone, you are talking to no one. Not every single area involves every single person. So you really need to narrow it. So for instance, in my court reporting business, I am looking for litigation lawyers, litigation clients. I don't need to talk to probate. I know there's a few depots there. I don't need to talk to real estate lawyers. I just stick with the litigation, right? And so in the shampoo world, I need people with hair. But I even define it more closely. Like, I really resonate with women over 50. So that's my market.
Yeah. I mean, we did a lot of different things for the last 12 to, I guess we're coming up on 15 years that Curtis and I have been partners, and we've done so many different areas of law. And really it's hard. It's hard to market when you're doing so many different things. I think now in this world, with it being so open, COVID really changed things, opened up so many opportunities. You can interact with so many people on a really individual level through Zoom, through so many different platforms now. And we're willing to do that, to where if you have those abilities to niche down, if you have the capacity to niche down, I know just talking about branding and maybe giving up business, you're worried that a great case is going to come in. And if you have to turn that down or refer it out, well, what is that going to do? It's hard. It's hard to make that decision, but it's so much better. It's so much clearer. It's so much easier to target, the people that you're actually trying to help. If you're trying to help everybody, you're really not helping anybody.
Yeah. And what happens is you really become the subject matter expert in those areas, in those pillars that you are establishing for, whether it's more than one, that you are the subject matter expert. So nursing home litigation,
right?
You are the subject matter expert.
Well, I'm just trying to reach as many people as we can. I think that we're trying to do something a little bit different in this area of law. So many people are either very local or regional, and we are trying to really develop into a national litigation firm that focuses exclusively on nursing home abuse. And we're in 20 states now, and we have grown incredibly fast. And I'm super super proud of what we're building, but my goodness, we're still trying to learn. We're still learning. We're still growing. So I think that you got to pick something that you want to learn and grow in. You want to pick something that you really believe in, and then really the sky's the limit. And it's okay to pick one thing. I mean, everybody, I wouldn't say that everybody has one thing that they love. Pick something that you love, pick something that you believe in, and then just go after it. Just relentlessly go after it.
And a really good example that's non-legal that I think everyone can relate to is cooking. People who love cooking, recipes, I mean, they could be taking over the world somewhere else with whatever their employment is, whatever they have going on. But if they have a passion for cooking, that is a huge attractor, So that would be something that if within the firm that you're in, maybe you're not seeing your path, but then, for instance, you love cooking or you love fitness, you can start there. Just start with some type of branding and a passion. It just comes down to passion.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, if you don't believe in what you're doing, I mean, we spend a lot of time on this podcast, but we do it because we love it. We do it because we're trying to add value. I mean, I wish I would have had more guidance, more people like Lisa in my life early on when I was coming up, just because she's been so open and genuine with me, guiding me. I talk to her all the time about problems that we're having. And if I would have had somebody like that when I was in my 20s and 30s, that was a woman that I respected, that was building a business, that just means so much. And so when you build a personal brand, you're going to meet like-minded people that are trying to accomplish things that are similar to you. And all of us, I think, when we're trying to build something that we care about, we're involved in something that we really love, anybody can reach out. When I'm reaching out to people that I admire, they respond to me because we're all trying to help each other, and just building that kind of cohesive unit can come from cooking, can come from fitness. You don't want to you can market to other lawyers, but if you're doing something that you're passionate about and you're showing your true self, that's really going to open up doors to all kinds of possibilities in relationships and in all kinds of areas that you really had no idea. Completely untapped resources, I would say.
And when you begin creating content, you don't have to put like a ton of thought in it. You just need to provide value. So informational, entertaining, it has to be compelling content, like something, there's things that and do in the areas that you are knowledgeable about that others don't know, that you could create a slide that has 3 points, the top 3 reasons to hire a court reporter, the top 5 reasons to hire a videographer. It's so simple to create the content, but it has to provide value, some type of value.
Yeah. I mean, what are you doing? What are you out there for? I mean, I guess some of the funnest things that we watch, like there's this, I'm just thinking of this video, this mom has these young kids and she's always doing fun things with them and bringing a certain level of energy. Energy's contagious. And this video that I'm thinking of is this mom, she's got one baby strapped to her, and then she's got another baby in a high chair right in front of her. And the baby in the high chair in front of her is just kind of, it looks like mourning. He's just kind of sad. He's just sitting there. He's not unhappy or anything, but he's just kind of sitting there. And the mom comes up behind him and she is like kind of clapping some pans together, not super loud, but like, and just moving around. And that baby isn't even watching her, can just feel her behind him. And he just kind of starts like kind of looking around, listening. Then he starts moving and, and that added value to me. And I think about it actually a lot because the energy that you bring is contagious to other people. So, I mean, that's a perfect example of her everyday life. She was thinking about something and a way to add value. And I don't know, she's got thousands and thousands of views because it's so cute.
Such a simple thing.
Yeah.
All right. Did anybody watch Dancing with the Stars this week? It just started. And you spoke of energy, and the very last contestant on Dancing with the Stars, very first episode, when they're coming out in their first one, like you can feel and see the energy in the room and the light, they do it over the top. The very last couple, the Russian, I didn't know who she was. She has an ankle bracelet on. And when she came out, like I just thought, oh, that's
like a prisoner?
Yeah.
Okay.
So her name is Anna something.
I feel like I need to know more about this.
Yes.
Okay.
She came out and the audience was like deadpan. There was, you could tell even on the TV when you were watching it. And then when they finished their little tango or whatever, one of the judges said, okay, all right, come on, audience. She's worked really hard. We need to stand up and, give her a proper, just spoke to the energy in the room.
Yeah.
And I think it just had to do with, I didn't really know who she was. She's somebody who pretended to be a socialite in New York.
Okay.
And stole money from a bunch of people.
Oh my gosh, Lisa, we really have to know this name.
Anna. But she was the last one on Dancing with the Stars. But the thing, just speaking to the energy, like you could see it on the TV. Anna Sorokin. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
That was probably painful for everybody, for me to talk about that and not know her name. I had never heard of her, but that's what happened to the energy in the room when she came out. So it's going to be interesting because she's still on there. So if you want, watch it and we can correspond because I do love it.
Well, we need to get on her social media and see what her compelling content is right now. I wonder if she's on any social media or not. But along those lines, I mean, just make sure that you're adding value. Really think about what that's unique to what you're doing and see if you can provide that to somebody else. Because as long as you're giving and sharing information, you're going to get something out of it too.
And I'm just going to tell you, it's really hard out of the gate. I don't think I said this before when we covered this topic, but let me just tell you what I did. So my really first experience
was... Were you drinking wine?
Wait. Just wait.
Okay.
I sold my previous court reporting firm, and then I had a 3-year non-compete. And I needed to do something, I needed to allow that non-compete. I didn't want to violate it. I needed to find something to do with my time. So that's when I started sharing shampoo. And I'll just tell you, nobody calls you and says, Lisa, are you going to sell some shampoo today? I mean, it's all up to you. And so when I'm seeing others on social media, it just gave me that bug. I'm like, I need to do this. I can do this. They do this. Oh my goodness. Y'all should see my very first Facebook Live.
We're gonna actually clip it. It'll be in the show notes. So you guys can log on and
I didn't even know I was sideways the whole time. And I may have been upside down. I don't even know. I still have it. And then I never smiled. I can't even be as somber.
It's because you're very serious.
As I was.
You're so serious.
I was so nervous. I mean, it was so awful. But I keep it. And that's the thing. You keep all of your original stuff because then it allows you to show others how far you've come. So the second time, let me tell you what I did. In 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I drank 3 vodka sodas.
Whoa.
Before.
This girl is not even a drinker. Let me just say, she is not even a drinker.
I get wound up and I get nervous and I was like, I need to smile. I need to loosen up. Now, I don't drink anymore to go in front of a camera.
So we've thought about it, though. We have thought about it.
Yes. Well, we could do it leisurely, but
we need a sponsor. Who's going to sponsor us? We need a vineyard to sponsor us. We're happy to put you out here right in front of everybody.
Yeah. But I personally wanted to overcome the ability to look at myself on my phone and talk to myself and do it on an ongoing basis, sharing something I loved. And thank goodness it was in shampoo because I would not have wanted to go through that process in legal. Can you imagine? Of course, I wouldn't have admitted in legal that I was drinking.
Right? No, absolutely not.
And it was just
different
one
crowd.
time.
You got to know your audience.
I know. I got better and better and better. I was just talking about shampoo samples. It was very important. I needed to tell you how to use them. I had the passion. I just needed the glass of courage.
That's, whatever it takes just to take that first step.
So whatever you got to do to push yourself outside your comfort zone, so long as you're not getting in a car and driving after that.
Exactly.
You just do it. You are going to feel so good when you have the growth.
Social media responsibly. That's what we want to say. You're not on an island. You don't have to do it by yourself. You can get guests too. You can get collaboration with other people that are in your network, in your focus. I mean, I watch and follow several people that I admire in our industry and what they're doing, just to really kind of get an idea of how they're going about being consistent with their message. And I think that collaboration with other people that are doing the same thing is helpful. You can have people on, you can talk to different people, you can talk about people. Please say nice things about people when you're talking about them.
You can borrow their
content.
Their content. You can utilize it to get you to the next level.
Mm-hmm. Cross promotion too.
Cross promotion is super important.
Right.
It's so easy, in this social media driven world. Just think about it. Everybody is looking to gain more exposure. So you promoting someone else's product or service and them promoting yours. It's just like on this show, we are having guests on here because number one, we want more exposure. Number two, we want the ability to share compelling content. I have loved the guests that we have had on thus far. It really just gives us an opportunity to connect with more women everywhere.
And provide different perspectives, right? We come from different backgrounds. We are really trying to have guests on that have a different perspective, are looking at things a little bit differently, challenging the way that we're thinking, challenging the way that we're coming at things, because we're really trying to learn too through this whole process, learn and grow so that we are adding value as well. And
you've got to be consistent. You have to show up. You have to show up even when you don't want to show up. It's easy to show up when you feel good. That aspect of it is no big deal. It's when you don't feel good. It's when you don't want to do it. It's when you can't think of anything to say that you still have to come, provide content, and show up on a regular basis. And I promise it's also a skill set. We talk almost in every single podcast that there's a skill set involved with whatever you're doing. Well, same holds true regarding this. So think about the priorities that you do day in and day out. For instance, I like working out. So that's one of my priorities. So that comes naturally to me. It's easy. It's incorporated into my routine. I don't have to think twice about it. I know that I'm going to do it. Well, that's what happens. That's what needs to happen with your social media. It doesn't need to be an afterthought. It just needs to be incorporated into your routine, and you are just boom. You are clicking, you are rocking, you are rolling, you are making it a priority. And actually, you'll get to the point that it's just a habit. Once you continue and get through the hard part, it does get easier. The creativity flows. And then too, when you're collaborating, that sparks creativity.
Yeah, it does. I mean, look how many things that we've come up with just kind of talking. I mean, the way we started this podcast was just getting together for happy hour and just realizing that we were learning and growing from each other just by these conversations. So really using the relationships that you already have to kind of build your brand, figure out who you are, figure out what you want to say. And that is really going to propel you forward, and you got to do the work. You definitely have to prepare. You don't want to be boring, but I will say, don't worry so much about how you sound. I mean, we care about what we look like, right? Yeah.
Yes, it's important.
Got to get your hair done, your makeup done and stuff, but not everybody. I'm going to come in here with a hat on and no makeup one of these days, maybe a year from now, maybe our 100th episode. Well, I'll come in without makeup and hair.
I'll just tell you, these lights are harsh. When I am making a video on my phone and I can apply a filter or after the fact apply a filter, that is easy peasy. These are dangerous.
Well, I mean, I would say that they make us look good here.
They do.
Lighting is important.
Lighting is important. So, when we're talking about compelling content, you don't have to overthink your content. Just start, and you can use somebody else that you like, know, and relate to, and you can copy their content. Just make it your own. for your own authenticity, but it's really important that you do have a clean camera lens if you're using a camera or your phone, and you've got to have good lighting. So for instance, if that all sounds super foreign to you, you need to YouTube that stuff.
Yeah, it's all on YouTube. I mean, seriously, you can learn so much.
Yeah, a clean camera lens on the phone goes a long way.
Yeah. I mean, I have a Ring camera on my, just doing hearings, right? Because I was just trying to look at yourself when you're looking all dark and you can see, I mean, it's terrible. Just go ahead and get a good ring light. It's easy. And really the most important thing, and I think really for Lisa and I, and Kellye for that matter, is just authenticity, just to kind of round out everything. It's so important to say how you feel, say what you believe. Don't say things that you don't, that you're not invested in and don't believe in. I think that everybody really just wants to hear truth from that person's perspective, even if they don't like it, even if they don't necessarily relate to it. They're going to take it in and say, okay, well, you want people to know you, like you, and trust you, right? Know you, like you, and trust you. Those are the things that you're trying to develop through your brand awareness, through your personal branding. So don't do things that are inconsistent with that.
Yeah, most definitely. And once you know that aspect of it, it just all starts to flow. You pick the social media platform that works best for you, and then you just start. It's that simple.
Yeah, pick your pillars and just start. That's all you have to do. Jump off the deep end.
Yeah,
that's right.
Just start. Take action, right?
Right. And be consistent. I mean, I think that's the hardest thing. Know that you're making a commitment to it. And, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And that's okay. But at least try to be consistent.
Yeah, most definitely. Did we miss anything?
I don't think so.
Individual branding?
Yeah. I mean, individual branding, collaboration, just the basics, authenticity, picking your pillars, knowing what you believe in,
figuring out your audience,
right? Target your audience. Saying something to everybody says nothing to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just created that saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just kind of twisted it a little. It's all good.
A little bit.
We look forward to hearing from you in any questions you may have related to branding, individual branding, whether it's personal or work related. Like, I love that kind of stuff. And I know Dawn does too, because both of us have been on a really serious growth path related to that. And you can email us at hello@ladiesinlaw. So we look forward to talking to you next time, and Kellye will be here.
See you next time.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of Ladies in Law. We hope you're walking away inspired and ready to shake things up in law and business. Don't forget to hit subscribe and let us know what you think. Spread the word and share this podcast with your network. Follow us on socials for all the behind-the-scenes fun and sneak peeks of upcoming episodes. Until next time, keep rocking it, keep breaking the mold, and as always, keep aspiring to inspire.